You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
The things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. So during the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts. But they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. So roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. And I have my doubts. So I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Howdy, howdy. Making sure everything's going out. I had a little bit of audio confusion when I when I first started. Howdy, Jason. I was fiddling around with audio settings earlier, and I didn't get one of them right when I changed it back. So Oh, crazy, crazy, crazy. So, I don't have a ton of tabs open again tonight. I've got 3 articles I'm going to cover, and then I've got the War News 24/7 site up. I'm just going to brief over the headlines on it. And then, of course, we've got our usual daily headlines at the end. But, so I don't know. Maybe it's the boy that called Wolf Syndrome. I'm not sure. Howdy, Standing Foot. Um, been a long time, brother. Um, like I said, maybe it's the boy that cried wolf syndrome, but I just eh, meh. I mean, so the article that I have up in front of me, you don't see it at this time, but it's titled "FBI warns of new level terrorist threat," and the subtitle underneath of it says, "After October 7, the U.S. is seeing blinking red lights everywhere." Well, I'm not convinced. I think they're full of shit. Quite simply, if somebody wanted to commit a terroristic act, how hard is it? I mean, really, how hard is it? It's not. And it's not. And if it was something that was done more with, someone of the lone wolf mentality, there wouldn't be nothing to track or trace to be able to know that a particular individual was about to commit some heinous act. There's no way to know. And that's why I've always kind of the whole Department of Homeland Security and meh. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. In fact, it's a known fact that most of their interventions were things that they set up to begin with. So, I mean, can you count that? Can you really count that? That's like calling a bunch of gangbangers that shoot each other up a mass shooting. It's not a mass shooting, not under the context in which it's intended. But anyway, I'm not really concerned. However, the United States and the EU are both warning people about the added level of danger. Again, somebody wanted to do it. It's not hard. There's a million different things. Pick one. I mean, there's a ton of, and there are incidents in the United States, but mostly they're not terrorist related. Let's not forget the dude that took it upon himself to mow down people that were participating in a Christmas parade. You know, the only thing different in that situation that differentiated it from a terror attack is because that didn't fit the definition. The act definitely fit something that you could call terrorism, but the motive wasn't technically. I'll argue that myself. I will personally argue that particular situation myself, um, on whether or not that should be deemed a terrorist. That I'm using a bad example because I personally think that should have been a terrorist act. Um, because come on, where's the root? of his mentality when he went and did that. So why wouldn't it be? But anyway, let's see. Trying to catch up down there. Oh man, I am telling you. Man, I need coffee. Mm. Yum, yum, yum. I need vape. Do I want sour gummy worms or green apple? I'll suck on some green apple. Yeah. I reckon I could do some news tonight. I don't know. Y'all up for some news, or you want to go meet me in the flight sim and we'll go flying? Let's see. Nah, it's there. I gotta swap back for you guys though. It'll pop up in a moment. Momento. There it is. Yay! Jazz hands. Okay. Uh, did it do it? Jazz hands. Kinda. Jazz hands. You gotta have them far enough out front. Like I said, I got it dark in here too. So. Oh man. Oh, drunken news. That wouldn't end well. Not on my end. No. You guys think I speak my mind now. I'll pass. Let's see. So anyway, as you see, oh yeah, that's right. You guys can kind of almost see my laser now. Almost, kind of, sort of. You can see. Oh, what happened? Used to be able to see it. Well, that sucks. Donkeys, man, donkeys. Okay, so you can't see it. Give me my hands back. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, that schmuck warns about that stuff. And the article says, following Hamas' latest attack on Israel, the U.S. has faced an elevated threat of terrorism, FBI Director Christopher Wray said at a Senate hearing on Tuesday. Domestic counterintelligence and combating terrorism are a part of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, portfolio, and Wray was briefing the Senate Judiciary Committee about the agent's activities. I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated, all at exactly the same time, Wray told Senator Lindsey Graham, the South Carolina Republican, who is the ranking member of the committee. Oh, you don't remember anything like that? Nothing that could have happened in, I don't know. On a particular January 6th. I mean, I thought that was the most horrible. In fact, I think that was supposed to be like more horrible than anything, right? So, I mean, so we got one now. We have something to top January 6th, so we can quit acting like it was the end of the nation. Anyway. Would you say there's multiple blinking red lights out there? Graham asked, referencing the phrase used to describe the warning signs prior to the September 11, 2001 terror attack. See what I'm saying? I see blinking red lights everywhere, said Ray. Well, if you cut down on the LSD, it might not be such an issue. Graham, who had or stop going down that particular street to look for those particular services. Now that would be causing a lot of red blinking lights. Anyway, bunch of schmucks saying a bunch of stuff, and they'll somehow take away more freedom as a result. So, nothing new. Nothing new. And then we got this thing. So I'm not sure. Is this one of the uh, um the things? Is this one of those people? Because I don't know if that I'm not quite sure what that is. So if somebody could help me out. I'm horrible. And I know it. Okay. I was looking at what Fire Marshal Bell said. I'm almost tempted to go up to the whiteboard and do the news. No, I need something to put up, something that you can hear me smack. That would be awesome. Right up until I broke a controller smacking it. Let's see. So the EU warns of Christmas terror attacks. Here it says European Union faces a huge risk of terrorist attacks over the Christmas holiday period in a society increasingly polarized by the Israeli-Hamas war, the bloc's Home Affairs Commissioner has said. Ooh, 1 second. Okay. The warning issued by EU Home Affairs Commissioner, oh my goodness, how do you pronounce that name? Itthang Johannesson, comes days after a German Filipino tourist was fatally stabbed in Paris. The suspect, a 26-year-old Frenchman who reportedly comes from a non-religious Iranian family, is said to have made reference to the Islamic State, formerly known as ISIS, not Twitter, ISIS, group during the attack. 2 other people also sustained injuries after being struck with a hammer. Man, they took MC Hammer way too far. With the war between Israel and Hamas and the polarization it causes in our society, with the upcoming holiday season, there is a huge risk of terrorist attacks in the European Union, Johansson told reporters on Tuesday, ahead of the meeting with the EU interior ministers in Brussels. Well, hey, you've outlawed guns, you've outlawed knives. I'm sure that if you like, as long as you maybe outlaw vegetable peelers, if you outlaw vegetable peelers, I think you'll have all your bases covered. So, and just in case, maybe outlaw all metal spoons. Maybe they can have they can't have plastic spoons because that wouldn't be good for the environment. Wooden spoons. They have to be biodegradable. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll make spoons out of kelp. Okay? And then they can eat their food with their spoon and then eat their spoon. Right? Will that work? Okay, good. I don't know who I'm talking to. I need to put down the LSD myself, it would appear. Anyway, the warning issued by oh wait, I read that one. And then, oh, hell with it. I need to get that lady out of my face. Uh, it was scaring me. Oh, man. Some kelp cigs. Hey, I know something that'll cure you of that crap real quick. Go get some clove cigarettes. Clove cigarettes. Ick. Um, End of capitalism in U.S. tops Saxo Bank's outrageous predictions. is that? I mean, can you even really count that as a prediction anymore? I mean, that's just common sense. I uh I I think it's funny when I hear people talk about that carnivore diet because isn't that pretty much the same as like the low carb diet? You know, you just stay away from breads and stuff like that, but you eat lots of meat, you focus heavily on meat, stay away from carbohydrates. If I'm not mistaken. Get to eat a shit ton of pork rinds if you want them. Well, if you're not trying to respect the Torah. Excuse me. Um, I I used to love pork rinds. I still do. I just can't eat them. So, oh man, catch my breath. Gonna grab a drink of coffee. Hang on, just a second. Ah. Okay, much better. All right. This says Saxo Bank. Let me make sure I'm good over there. Okay, not laggy. Saxo Bank has revealed its annual list of outrageous events that are unlikely to happen, but could send shockwaves across global markets if they came true. The tongue-in-cheek outlook created by analysts at the Copenhagen-based investment bank explores how the world would navigate a dangerously unpredictable future, including powerful technological advancements. U.S. heralds the end of capitalism with tax-free government bonds. The U.S. could be forced to increase fiscal spending to keep the economy going, and to avoid social unrest amid the presidential elections. Ah, hang on. Scheduled for November 2024, demand for U.S. Treasuries will remain sluggish due to inflationary pressures and foreigners repatriating capital. To normalize borrowing costs, Washington will make income from government bonds tax-free. You know, and it goes down its list of, I don't know. Like I've said for a long time now, let me stop sharing for a moment just to let that refresh. Um, I've been saying for some time now that the economy is one of those things that it will fall when they want it to fall. Not a day before, not a day after. We all know the numbers are made up. We all know they just let the printing presses run as fast as they'll run. If they were actually going by any actual numbers to begin with, they wouldn't be able to keep doing what they're doing. All of what they are doing is it's essentially it's make believe. You can't just say, okay, here's more money. It doesn't work that way. You might be able to bullshit your own population that way. The people that use that currency, you might be able to bullshit. But when you go stacking it up against the rest of the world, you're going to be an issue. And I think that's where we're heading. I think the dollar is going to be useless. I think it's going to be like, um, I believe it was Venezuela. It said you'd have to carry a wheelbarrow full of money to be able to buy a loaf of bread. That's pretty crazy. It may have been somewhere else other than Venezuela. I'm not sure which country that was that I heard about, but pretty crazy. Beer is all carbs. Zero carbs and only yeah. They've named that diet a million different things over the years. So, what was the latest one that I remember that it was called? It was like around the millennium, I think, is when it was real popular. I can't remember. And then there might have been there might have been another name for it yet in between now and when that went on. So it just keeps keto is the one that came out between the two, yeah. And then the one before keto is the first one that I recall. But yep. I don't remember hearing lion diet. But yeah, I mean I've long said that was the way to go. Oh yeah, no doubt, brother. No doubt. No doubt. You will lose tons of weight. You will lose tons of weight. And you'll get healthier in other ways as well. So absolutely it's a good idea. Man. Okay, let me refresh this page. Oh, my neck hurts. And reshare my screen. All right. Like I said, I'm just gonna kind of just. Oops, I forgot. I actually did have that clicked a couple of times. Okay, I think this is be good enough here. Britain sent 8 warships on missions for quote unquote fear of global conflict. So that's something to pay attention to. Bulgaria blocked shipment of weapons to Ukraine. The Israeli army has surrounded the city of Khan Yunis, and apparently there's been a lot of fighting. And then there's the other headline I was thinking of. Turkey, with a new anti-NOTAM, it calls for the demilitarization of the Aegean Islands within 5 minutes of Erdogan's visit. So that's interesting. And then this is a headline that I also found interesting. Hamas blew up tunnel with 60 IDF soldiers. Heaviest day of fighting in Gaza. Israeli casualties mount. So I don't know how much truth there is to that, but if they're starting to rack up numbers, here's the thing. During that, temporary ceasefire they had, both sides had the ability to kind of reset themselves, if you will, regroup and do a little bit of planning. So, you may see a different conflict moving forward. It may be much more costly from here on out for the IDF. We'll see. Ukraine's at big risk of losing the war if U.S. Congress delays arms supplies. How many times have we heard that? Deadly upgrades to the Guran 2 kamikaze drone. Giant thermobaric payload brings total destruction. Let me repeat that. Giant thermobaric payload. That is not necessarily good. Hang on, I'm waiting for the article Switch to English. Come on now. Let me refresh. Come on, there we go. Says here, a major improvement has recently been made to the Kamikaze Garand 2 drone, which is used to carry out strikes. One of the key innovations for the integration of the LTE modems with SIM cards by the operator Kyivstar in the guidance system of the drones. This allows operators to remotely control UAVs via temporary secure IP addresses, receive telemetry information, and transmit radio control commands. Such a control system is particularly important when GPS radio navigation channels are suppressed by electronic warfare in the L band. In addition, the installation of thermal imaging guidance sensors was completed, which makes it possible to conduct optical electronic reconnaissance behind the lines of the Ukrainian army. Now, I do want to say this too before we move further. As it said here, such a control system is particularly important when GPS radio navigation channels are suppressed by electronic warfare in the L band. What you need to understand is that if there is some type of tomfoolery going on in the borders of the United States of America, when it comes to military, whether it be foreign or domestic, your GPS probably isn't going to work. Just not. So hopefully you're not relying on a GPS. You really need to have maps. You really need to have a compass. You really need to have the knowledge on how to use them. Just saying. I love gadgets, but I also like living. So I make sure when it comes to SHTF that it's not just those cool gadgets that I know how to operate. Says in addition, the installation of thermal imaging guidance sensors was completed, which makes it possible to conduct optical electronic reconnaissance behind the lines of the Ukrainian army. In Ukraine, reports of a modernized version of the Garand 2 kamikaze drone with a thermobaric warhead are causing concern. Well, why would that be? I mean, that should be concerning. Yikes. NATO's not sending forces to Ukraine, fears huge losses. Washington Post says with 8 board games, the USA and Britain formed the offensive plan of the Ukrainians. Oh yeah? Was Monopoly one of them? Or, let's see. Okay, yeah. Those are mainly the ones that I wanted to cover. Huh. Man, I am sore. The weather's got me tore up. Oh, man. Got a little bit of reading done today. I think I've read, 2, maybe 3 chapters throughout the day. So, just read one, or finished up on one, I should say, right before the show. It's a good book. It's again, it's fiction. So, and as the book series goes along, the bullshit gets a little deeper, if you know what I'm saying. It's gone the way of fantasy in some aspects quite heavily. But it's still entertaining, and it's not hurting anything to read it. Like I say, it's entertaining, and from following the series through all 12 books so far. It's a good story. It's a good story. So I'm referring to the Going Home series by Angry American. Book 12 is Exploring Home. Starts out with Going Home. And I think it's actually the official name is the Survivalist series. I think it's the official name. Angry American, the author. And the Going Home series is like the common name for it that most people call it. Because the first book's called Going Home. But it's a good series. Really good series. Oh, man. Ah, man. Our sinuses are hell today, too. All right, I reckon we can get through these dang things and, I'll probably close up a little quick tonight. I don't know. I'm tired. Tomorrow I would like to get up. Well, I still got stuff to do, but damn it, I want to get a little bit of flying in. I went to go fly today, and well, I put my flight stick on the desk and got my rudder pedals all set up, and I was all happy. I was gonna go fly the Texan too, and I forgot there was an update today, and I had never had a problem till today with updating, and lots of people have had problems with their updates not going very fast or having issues. I had never had an issue until today, and man, it was a nightmare. Finally, I got all the updates installed. I did a little bit of flying, but not a whole lot. Yeah, man. I mean, it was ridiculous. So everybody was raising hell about it. So I had even, man, I always tell people there's really no, if you're talking about wanting to hide from they, those, them, a VPN isn't going to cut it. I always laugh at people that act like they're hiding from the government with a VPN. No, you're not. At best, you're hiding from advertisers. At best. That's it. Well, anyway, so I've never had a VPN. Why? Because, um, well, and I've said stuff like that, Fire Marshal Bill, many times. He said, for those that wonder, I think a VPN is how they do track you. And I've said stuff like that. Anytime they open up a new social media website, remember Parler, everybody flocks to it and, oh, this is going to be freedom, freedom, freedom. And then they get over there and they say a bunch of stupid shit and then wonder why the FBI is knocking on the door. It's like, how moronic can you be? And they can do it over and over and over to the very same political party. They can do it over and over and over. They fall for it every damn time. Let's see. But Trump and I'm pretty sure he probably made that statement about how conservatives are so stupid they would vote for him. Something I'm paraphrasing there on what conservatives will say he never said, in which I'll say bullshit. That sounds exactly like something he would say. So oh man. U.S. out of money for Ukraine, says White House. I hope. Brits have become much poorer than the French, says a study. EU countries buying record volumes of Russian LNG. Israeli facility linked to nuclear program hit in Hamas strike, says New York Times. Now, they've really been talking about this. They're talking about on October 7th. This is not a new attack. Just to be clear on that. Billionaire graduate accuses Harvard of discriminating against white males. Russian tanks in action in Donbass. Brazil's Lula will invite Putin to G20. Finland to produce artillery shells for Ukraine, says defense minister. Qatar dumping shares in key UK banks, says Bloomberg. Kremlin announces Putin Middle East trip. Pardon me. Conor McGregor hints at Irish presidency bid. And don't do it, folks. Italians spending less on groceries, says a report. Gazans running out of safe places, says UN official. Israel moles flooding Hamas tunnels, says Wall Street Journal. Festival founder shunned for political views. Moscow still ready for talks with Kiev, says Kremlin. Investors may have had prior knowledge of Hamas attack on Israel, says research. Investors too, you say. Former NATO chief urges EU to resist China. Poland demands EU limits on Ukrainian truckers. Let's see. Florida Democrats accused of shielding Biden from rivals. U.S. border control bill collapses, says NBC. Russian oil price cap has largely failed, says Politico. Boris Johnson considered military raid on NATO state, says Daily Mail. Ukraine's EU accession is terribly far away, says a member state. Hang on. Get COVID shots for Christmas, says Germany. Taiwan independence incompatible with peace, says Beijing. European Council chief cuts China trip short over Ukraine dispute, says media. They brought Eddie Murphy to be the spokesman, China, and he said, "If you don't like it, you can get the fuck out." Right? Remember? uh, Sorry, I couldn't resist. Boony boo boo. Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen that, you haven't lived. Oh man. Able-bodied male Ukrainians in the EU need to go back and fight, says German MP. UK preparing to push Ukraine toward peace talks, says media. Moscow must deal with consequences of Kiev's nationalist policy, says Putin. A UK nuclear site leaking, says The Guardian. I don't know, plug it. U.S. posts $7 million bounty on Russian entrepreneur. Zelensky party MP tells Ukrainian women to go to the front lines. The U.S. imposes visa bans over West Bank violence. And U.S. House Speaker issues Ukraine ultimatum to Biden. They said the big guy either takes 50% or he leaves it. I'm pretty sure that's what was said. There's a number one there. Zelensky scraps briefing with U.S. Senate. Well, I'm sure they didn't want to talk to you anyway. Here you're whining about how you need more of the taxpayers' money to get your ass whooped some more. Anyway. When will we get legs, man? We need legs. This is a bunch of crap. We need legs. There was an update to the server part, to the PC side, but I didn't see an update to the app yet. We need legs, Meta. Give us some legs. Anyway. Fun times. I like the I like this one the best, I think. I really like the cabin. The beach, cities, cabin's the best. Smoke wisping off the chimneys. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I wonder if there's planes that fly over. There might be, because there is in the city. There's planes that fly over. There might be some here. I just never really looked. Never sat there and stared at the ceiling because we could put on the bookshelves to where people could come pick a book up off the shelf and read it. That would be totally kick ass. I had some warnings going on. Wonder what up with that. Saw some kind of warning on the connection. But yeah, that'd be really cool if we could do that. Because I've got the VPN running right now. So maybe that's why. I have no idea. I think when it connected through Japan, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. The flight sim updates, if they used a VPN, it would update fine. So I thought, well, I'll give it a shot this time. And I don't think it really made a difference this time. So I think it was just so screwed up on their end. But anyway, I am going to get out of here. I am going to hopefully sleep good tonight. Hopefully get up in the morning and maybe do a little reading, maybe do a little flying. And I got some stuff I got to get done. So I am going to get out of here. I am going to go get trash taken out and go snuggle with the big black furry thing. So anyway, I will talk to y'all tomorrow. I appreciate you coming. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.